Let me lay it out for you straight. The world's on shaky ground, markets are wobbling, teetering like a house of cards in a storm. Europe's stumbling with debt and politics, China's flexing and faltering, the USA's juggling inflation and uncertainty. It's 2025, and fear's everywhere, thick, choking, paralyzing. Most people see a global crash coming and panic, running around like sheep waiting to get slaughtered. That's their mistake in your opening. Where there's fear, there's opportunity, bigger than ever. Buy low, hold strong, assets win when the world's crying, when the herd's diving for cover. Be the wolf, not the sheep, and I'm going to show you how to thrive while everyone else sinks. Here's the raw truth, markets don't crash for the smart, they crash for the clueless. When the news screams recession and the Dow's bleeding points, the average Joe freaks out, sells everything, hides his cash under the mattress, prays it'll all blow over. That's a loser's game. The rich, they don't flinch. They see blood in the streets and start hunting, snapping up assets at rock-bottom prices while the sheep are too scared to move. Europe's markets tank, buy their undervalued real estate. China's exports slow, grab their discounted stocks. USA's in chaos, scoop up cash flow properties while the timid tremble. Fear's a signal, opportunities knocking, loud and clear, but only if you've got the guts to answer. Let's talk about what's happening. It's 2025, and the global economy's a mess. Supply chains are tangled, interest rates are jumping, currencies are twitching. Most people think a crash means the end. Game over, lights out. Wrong. A crash is a reset, a fire sale, a chance to build wealth while others are busy whining. When markets wobble, prices drop. Stocks, houses, businesses, everything gets cheap because panic sells. That's your cue. Buy low when the world's crying. Hold strong when the dust settles. Assets real, tangible, cash-producing assets. Don't care about headlines. They win long-term, every time if you're sharp enough to grab them. Fear's everywhere right now, and that's your edge. The sheep see red charts and hear crash and think it's time to run, sell off their stocks, dump their rentals, hoard their pennies. They're terrified of losing what little they've got, so they lock themselves into losing more. You, be the wolf, see the fear, smell the blood, strike when they're weak. A stock drops 50% because Europe's banks are shaky. If it's a solid company, cash flow not hype. Buy it cheap, wait for the rebound. A landlord panics and lists a rental property below market because China's slowdown spooked him. Snag it, rent it, let the cash roll in. Fear blinds the herd, it opens your eyes, if you're paying attention. Here's the mindset you need. Stop seeing a crash as a disaster, and start seeing it as a gold mine. Most people think wealth comes in the good times, booms, bubbles, easy money. That's a fairy tale for suckers. Real wealth, lasting wealth gets built in the bad times, when everything's on sale, and the timid are too scared to buy. In 2025, with markets wobbling across continents, the table's set, assets are ripe for the taking. Property prices dip when mortgages tighten, grab them. Businesses falter when trade stalls, pick the strong ones up cheap. Stocks tank when panic hits, load up on the ones that pay dividends not promises. The world's crying, good, let them cry while you cash in, but you've got to know the difference, assets versus junk. A crash doesn't mean buy everything blind. Most people mess this up, they either freeze or grab whatever's falling fastest, thinking it's all a bargain. That's how you lose your shirt. Assets win, real assets, not liabilities dressed up as deals. Property that spits out rent month after month, even in a downturn, that's an asset. Companies with solid balance sheets, paying dividends through thick and thin, that's an asset. A beat-up car, or a timeshare some fools unloading, that's junk, don't touch it. In a crash, the wheat gets separated from the chaff. Learn to spot the wheat, or you'll choke on the chaff with the rest. Let's get real about 2025. Europe's a powder keg, debt's piling up, energy's a mess, political fights are stalling growth. China's flexing muscle but tripping over its own supply chains. Exports slow, factories stutter. The USA's wrestling inflation, rate hikes, and a divided mess of a system. Markets are wobbling, stocks jittery, bonds shaky, real estate teetering. Most people see this and think hide, stash cash, wait it out, hope for sunshine. That's a death trap. Cash loses value. 5% inflation turns your $10,000 into $9,500 in a year while you sit there. Hiding's not safe. it's surrender. Buy low instead, assets at discount prices, and hold strong. When the world's crying, the wolf buys what the sheep abandon. Education's your weapon, ignorance is your enemy. You can't thrive in a crash if you don't know what you're doing. Period. Study the markets, Europe's property yields, China's industrial plays, USA's rental hotspots. Learn what holds value when the chips are down. Cash flow properties, dividend stocks, businesses with real customers. Most people won't. They'll watch TV, scroll headlines, panic with the herd. That's why they dive when the crash hits. Too lazy to learn, too scared to act. You dig in, read reports, crunch numbers, know the game. A crash doesn't care about your feelings, but it respects your brain if you use it. Here's a practical move. Start now, no excuses. Got cash? Good. Stash enough for 6 months of bills, then hunt. No cash? Borrow smart. Good debt, not bad. While rates are still workable, look at rentals. Cities growing despite the wobble. Rents covering costs plus profit. Look at stocks. Companies paying 4% dividends with strong cash reserves, not trendy garbage. Look at small businesses, distressed owners, selling cheap because they're scared. Buy low, negotiate hard, pay less than it's worth. Hold strong, ride the storm, collect the cash flow. In 2025, deals are everywhere. Distressed sellers, panicked investors, but they won't wait for you to grow a spine. Risks real, deal with it. Markets crash, prices fall, things get ugly. Property might sit vacant a month, stocks might dip more before they climb, businesses might limp before they run. So what? Mitigate it. Buy below market, pick assets with proven income, diversify a little, not too much, or you're just guessing. Most people think no risk is safe, hiding cash, avoiding the game. Wrong. Inflation's the real risk, your money's dying while you wait. In a crash, playing it safe loses more than playing it smart. Assets win when you hold through the chaos. Fear's temporary, value's not. The herd's your prey. Don't join them. They're diving, selling low, crying loud, begging for bailouts. They see a crash and think loss. You see it and think win. When Europe's stocks plummet, they dump. You buy the cash flow survivors. When China's slowdown tanks property, they flee. You grab the rentals. When USA's chaos cuts prices, they panic. You pounce. The sheep run from fear. You run toward wet, teeth bared. They'll lose because they're soft. Be the wolf, hard and hungry. Time's your ally if you use it right. Your secret weapon in this mess. In 2025, the crash isn't a maybe, it's a when. Markets wobble now, they collapse later. Europe, China, USA, all of them. The longer you wait, the tighter the window gets. Buy low today, and in 5 years you're holding assets pumping cash while prices climb back. Wait too long, and you're stuck. Deals dry up, the herd wakes up, prices rebound before you move. Every day you hesitate is a day the wolves, the real ones, snag what you could have had. Assets win when the world's crying, but only if you're in the game early. Time doesn't wait for the timid. Let's talk reality, because this isn't a pep talk, it's a wake-up call. Most people lose in a crash because they're weak, mentally weak, financially weak, gutless. They don't study markets, don't learn value, don't act when it counts. They'd rather watch the news and moan than dig into a property listing or a stock report. They'd rather cling to a paycheck than buy a rental that pays them. That's their funeral. They'll dive when the crash hits, broke and blaming everyone else. You, no excuses. The data's out there, free online, libraries, anywhere. Pick a market, Europe's distressed cities, China's industrial dips, USA's rental zones, and master it. No rents, yields, dividends, cold. Then buy low, hold strong, be the wolf who thrives while they drown. Don't trust the hype, cut through it. Headlines scream, doom, analysts flip-flop. Your buddy swears he's got the inside scoop. It's noise, dangerous noise. A crash amplifies it. Fear sells papers, not truth. Tune it out. Focus on assets, numbers, not narratives. Is that property cash positive after costs? Does that stock pay steady dividends, crash or not? Is that business worth more than the seller's asking? Hype blinds the sheep, facts guide the wolf. Verify everything. Trust your brain, not their babble. Here's a deeper dive because you need meat, not fluff. Say Europe's markets tank, Spain's got debt, Germany's exports stall, property prices drop 20%, a $200,000, flats now $160,000, rents hold at $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year. Your costs, mortgage, fees, run $12,000. You clear $6,000 a year, and in a decade, it's worth $250,000. $50,000 again. Buy low, hold strong, cash flow now, wealth later. Or China's slowdown, factory stocks fall 30%. A solid one pays 5% dividends, $50 a share, now $35. You buy 100 shares for $3,500, get $175 a year, and it climbs back to $50 when trade steadies. USA's chaos, rental homes drop 15% in a jittery market. A $150,000 house goes for $127,500, rents at $1,200 a month. $14,400 a year. Costs hit $10,000, profits $4,400. That's thriving while others dive. Real numbers, real wins. Discipline's your backbone. Without it, you're done. A crash tests you, prices fall, fear spikes, doubt creeps in. The sheep sell cheap, cut losses, run. The wolf buys more if he can, waits it out. You don't need a fortune to start, $10,000 gets you in. Borrow smart, good debt, at 5% for a rental, not 18% for junk. Save a cushion, 3 months of expenses, then strike. Most people crack under pressure, too soft, too shaky. You, steel yourself, stick to the plan, ride the wave. Assets win when you don't blink. Let's double down on that practical bit. Here's your move. Step 1, scan your cash. Got $5,000, $10,000. Set aside survival money, 6 months, then use the rest. Step 2, pick a wobbling market. Europe's cheap flats, China's steady stocks, USA's rental deals. Step 3, research, rents over $1,000, dividends over 4%, businesses with customers now. Step 4, buy low, offer 10% less than asking, walk if they bulk. Step 5, hold strong, collect cash flow, ignore the noise. In 2025, distressed sellers are everywhere, scared landlords, jittery investors, pounce while they panic, no mercy. The crowd's your meal ticket, let them dive. They're selling low because Europe's shaky, good, take their assets. They're dumping stocks because China's slow, fine, grab the payers. They're unloading homes because USA's uncertain, perfect, rent them out. They're sheep, scared, stupid, soft. You're the wolf, calm, cunning, strong. They lose because they follow fear, follow headlines, follow failure. You win because you hunt value, hunt deals, hunt victory. One more thing, cash flow's king in a crash, chase it, not dreams. Property that pays rent now, not potential in 10 years. Stocks that pay dividends now, not hype about tomorrow. Businesses that make money now, not promises of disruption. Most people buy hope in a crash, hope's a loser's bet. Buy cash, real, steady, yours. In 2025, with markets wobbling, cash flow keeps you alive while you build, hope just keeps you broke. Here's the bottom line, burn it into your skull. A global crash is survival of the sharp, thrive when others dive, or sink with the sheep. Markets wobble, Europe, China, USA, and fears everywhere, choking the weak. Opportunities bigger, massive, if you see it. Buy low when the world's crying. Property, stocks, businesses hold strong when the herd's running. Assets win, always, when you're the wolf, not the prey. In 2025, the stakes are sky high, fear's loud, deals are cheap, time's short. Get smart, get tough, get in, or get out, and watch the wolves feast. No excuses, thrive, or dive.